And Naren, you shared a wonderful example, and I'll share another one. A coaching client of ours, of mine, said, Gary, I need more new patients. Said, I'd like, I have some budget in my marketing. I have some money in my marketing budget, and I'm thinking about doing some Google paid ads, some pay-per-click ads. Do you think I should do Google pay-per-click ads? And I said, well, first of all, is the problem that you're not getting enough calls, or is the problem that you're getting the calls, but you're not converting them? And he was a new client of mine. And he said, I don't know. Well, I want to pause there for just a minute, because, doctor, it's really important for us to solve the right problem. Because if the problem is you're not getting enough calls, that's a marketing problem. And Naren, I'm going to throw that on your lap. If you're their marketing agency, I'm going to say, get them more calls. Right. But if the problem is that you're getting enough calls, but you're not converting them, that's a different issue. That's a conversion problem, not a marketing problem. Marketing's doing its work to get the phone to ring, but now we're not doing anything with those calls. So he said, I have no idea. Well, it turns out that he was also a client of Equa. So I said, well, I can find that out through Equa. Would you like to know what that is? He said, absolutely. And so let me give you the data. This client was getting 50 new calls a month. It was a newer client with Equa. He was getting 50 calls a month, and he was converting 25% of them, 25%. He was getting 12 new patients a month. By the way, let's benchmark that for just a minute. Here's the benchmarking I want to provide to all of our listeners. We've created the benchmarking around this. How do you know if you're successful? By the way, you have to use a different grading scale than the grading scale that we're familiar with, from our elementary school days. Here's the grading scale that I would suggest. 70% or above is an A on the report card. 60 to 70 is the B range. Closer to 70, more like B plus, closer to 60, more like B minus. And then 50 to 60 is a C. Closer to 60, more like C plus, closer to 50, more like C minus. Does that make sense, Naren?
Absolutely.
And so he was at 25%. And I always tell my clients, anything less than 50 is failing. Well, he was failing with a capital F. Well, we did some training with his team. And by the way, I asked him, I said, by the way, Doc, how much training have you done with your team on the phone? He said, all together? I said, yeah. And he had a good sense of humor. He says, all together, that would be zero. None. Which is, if this applies to you as a listener, just take heed, because it's probably common.
And the particular client that I was referring to, he had trained the team, but it was a few years ago. And he assumed just because they were trained 3 years ago, they're going to be rock stars today. And that was not the case.
And he had some new team members in between.
That's true.
They hadn't gotten the training at all. So this is not a one and done exercise ever. But anyway, I did some training, and in the first round of training with his team members who were on the phones, we went from 25% to 62%. Naren, I was pretty darn happy with those results in the first round. But still, that was what's my grade on 62?
70. That's a B. 62 is a B. So you want
and closer to what?
Closer to the B
minus.
B minus.
Remember,
yeah, exactly.
Closer to 70 is a B plus, closer to
Right.
60 is a B minus. He was at 62, more like a B minus.
B minus, yes.
We did another round of training, and we got it to 69%. Now we're right on the door of what? 69% is what, Naren?
A B plus, but 70
almost an A. Right. And so I said, well, let's do another round of training. You're so close. I think we can get there. And since then, we raised it to 75%. And it's been at 75% every month since. So think about the difference of this, Naren. He's getting the same 50 new calls a month now.
Right.
And he used to get 12 new patients a month. He's now getting 37. And by the way, we haven't spent any money on Google pay-per-click ads. None. But don't feel bad for Google.
You cost him zero. You literally zero.
Don't feel bad for Google. They're going to be okay without his ad money. They'll be okay. No tears shed on Google. Okay.
So he tripled his business without spending a dime.
Without spending a dime.